response.
Yeah. I've been in the startup world for almost last 12 years.
But what made you bring back to India then?
Software businesses make most money when you sell in high ticket markets.
AI is taking away jobs. The answer for that from you is yes or no?
I really feel that India has lot more potential to scale from here onwards.
Right.
On a personal level, I started feeling very detached from the world.
What are the traits for entrepreneurship required to be successful? When you say the person is secluded, the American person is secluded, do you think this is the case with most of the business person only, or most of the Americans are like such?
Although right now with AI, the whole world has become like, okay, it's a level playing field, right? Like anybody can start any company sitting in Pune or Pandharpur or let's say Portugal. Same with SF, and being in that Bay Area, it's like you will actually like bump into intelligent people who are constantly thinking about like way forwarded things than you can sit here and imagine.
What do you like about Weber Suryavanshi? Who is your favorite founder in India?
It was Kunal Shah till now, but
why?
now. But these 19-year-olds are my like new founders that I really admire.
You know, there is a word that content creators are the next entrepreneurs. Do you agree with this?
Like let's say for example this Broadway company that they have started. But when Nikhil Kamath and Kishore Biyani partner together and start Broadway, naturally it becomes like a great fit for them. So I think for him this is also another way of like distribution, I feel.
Let's say you have got 100 crores. Your path would be via entrepreneurship to make next 1000 crores or via VC.
The VCs who come in as the early investors, they make the most money, right?
Because this is an era of AI. Do you think the person graduating by the age of 22, is this still fine?
Honestly, there are no business gaps or idea gaps in the world. I'll give you a reason about this.
One, it is positioning itself as a Indian first premium brand. You like the logo of it?
Not really, could have been better, but I think the whole service industry has a lot of like executional gaps.
Let's say if there is a business person doing business offline, that person wants to move online in the online space. How should that person do that? Yeah, I also think that the number of jobs won't decrease, because what happens is every time when this evolution happens, even via technology, the humans increases their age. After 20-30 years, we can definitely see this, that we are traveling to Mars. I also think that in future there are chances that one person is always accompanied with one robot all the time. So
exactly. I am happy to be a dog walker also.
So thank you for coming, Pawan.
Of course, my pleasure.
So the objective today is simple. We want to do an in-depth conversation. If any entrepreneur, any budding entrepreneur wants to start his or her journey, normally the question that he wants to ask, the answer that he gets are mostly superficial. But with your experience, with your exposure, we want to learn like everything from starting to scaling.
Okay.
How the entrepreneur can do that. And first of all, if you can, quickly introduce, let's say if the person does not know you and wants to know about you, if you can briefly introduce yourself. So that will be helpful.
Super. I wish this was like a 2-hour podcast so I could do like a long conversation and introduction about me, but to keep it short and brief, I've been in the startup world for almost last 12 years, and every time I've taken up a project or started my own company, it has always been to unlock and like scale from let's say X to 5X, X to 10X. So that's where typically I've like come across and like worked in my across like last 12 years. Most of that has been in the tech space. It has been some form of software or technology that's about, let's say, a marketing software or a HR tech software. My last startup was about an accounting, AI accounting software. And currently what I'm scaling right now is an AI healthcare startup for US clinics, where we help physiotherapy clinics, chiropractic clinics over there in the US to do their entire patient intake to insurance claims and denials, everything on one single platform. So my last 10-12 years have been in technology, so I've seen fairly on the ground. However, my education was in metallurgy and material science from COEP. The reason why I chose that was because I was born in Aurangabad, which is now Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. My dad was in government office. He was in Provident Fund, worked like a Sarkari Babu for almost like entire of his life. So Our upbringing, I have two elder sisters, all three of us had like a very, I would say, lower middle class kind of like upbringing. And the only way for us to, like do something good in life was to have hard work and discipline in life. So my childhood was always like very boring, structured, disciplined thing. Okay, सुबह 6 बजे उठना है, go to school, study there, be a first bencher, come back, have lunch, go to classes again, study there again, come back in the evening, do homework and all of that, and then go back to sleep. Only on the weekends used to be like playing cricket. Sports has a big sports has a big impact on my life, and probably in the conversation we'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, and now currently I'm working in the AI healthcare space, and of course like Pune has been like my last 10-12 years. So this is like my second hometown kind of city that I talk about. So when I came back to Pune from spending some time in the US and the Bay Area, I was like, okay, there needs to be a founder community, a startup community here that's more vibrant than what we have just been doing. And that's how...
You mean to say you were in San Francisco, right?
Yeah. So that's how the whole 411 community also like happened. Me and Devyani, we were just meeting for coffee, and I was like, I'm getting really bored. Please, you invite 5 people, I'll invite 5 people, and let's go out for dinner, have good conversation with people. It started with that and just like kept scaling, and that's the thing about good ideas.
Right.
There is that idea gap, this is something that the market kind of needs, and you execute it well. That's literally how any business would be. And we'll talk more about this, but yeah, these days, my life is usually working in the AI healthcare ecosystem, and then the Pune founder community, and sometimes being on podcasts like this.
Nice. So to sum up, you were into San Francisco, you came back to Pune, joined 411,
yep.
And you're already working on the AI healthcare.
Yes.
But you're targeting this AI healthcare into US.
Yes, only in US.
Why
because
is it so?
So software businesses...
Honest reasons.
Yeah, honest reasons. Software businesses make most money when you sell in high ticket markets. Like for a software like that, a physiotherapy clinic here in India, let's say makes 2 lakh rupees. Let's say a single person clinic, I'm saying like a single provider, they might make 2 lakh rupees or 5 lakh or let's say 10 lakh also. But a single clinic in US makes like $1 million and stuff like that. So naturally for them, they are okay to spend, let's say $10,000 a month on a software. Whereas somebody who's making 5 lakh here in India, they wouldn't be okay to spend almost like $1 lakh just on the software bit. And plus the competition here in India is very like the price cutting kind of thing. If I make a software that's used by, let's say, take example of Paid Puja. Now, Paid Puja has done something brilliant in the whole ecosystem because they started way back.
What is Paid Puja?
The restaurant billing and the
ERP.
the restaurant whole entire ERP system where it's about orders that are coming, the billing, and even they have like the employee punch in, punch out. It's kind of like an HR tech also, but like an overall ERP. There are quite a few smaller players who have been building something similar, and now they're just like price cutting themselves. So that's what happens majorly in the software business here in India. But US is not like that. They don't care if, somebody else is giving in $9,000 and they'll spend like $1,000, but they need that quality and the technology that should like really work. I think that way, why the whole world keeps going back to US for anything technology. You see all the stock market also in US, right? Like the Nvidia, Meta, Google, everybody sits there. All the other stock markets in the world also invest in US. So naturally the whole technology plays over there. It's easy to actually build businesses in India. Like honestly, like if I just be very transparent here, compared to US with the whole compliances, the way sales cycle happen over there, they are like much longer. You need a lot more convincing over there. It's a lot more expensive to run a business in US. So all of those things become a little difficult, but selling or building a startup here in India is, I think, much easier.
So right now you're more focused into 411 or?
No, 411 is my Saturday thing.
Okay.
Instead of partying in Pune, I thought like, okay, what should I do while I'm in this city now? And that's where like I spend my Saturdays entirely on this to think about, okay, what else can we do? Can there be another event? Can there be certain digital IPs that are already in conversations as of now and those kind of stuff? and I am okay to build it slowly.
Got it.
I am in no rush, nor
It's a side
there any, yeah. And even though it's like side gig, but I don't want to like undermine it with the commitment that we have for it. It might feel like, okay, I'm giving only my 1 day out of the 7 days, but that 1 day is also like really committed, and like we have focused.
You need to prep it for like a month for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody who has attended the events, they'll know like how it is. The experience is different. It's not just any other like startup ecosystem event that like happens and all of that. We really put some thought into it when we curate the people, when we like think about an event idea and all of that. So
you have been into San Francisco. The word about San Francisco is that the ecosystem, the mindset there really supports entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
So can you tell more about it?
It's really
is
about
it true or it's more like
of course
fake?
It's true. Like the best place to actually build a tech company is SF only. Like you can't really like think of any other better place. Although right now with AI, the whole world has become like, okay, it's a level playing field, right? Like anybody can start any company sitting in Pune or Pandharpur or let's say Portugal, anywhere. So I think that level playing field has happened, but just the sheer energy of the people who are in that city, every city has its own energy, right? Like in India also, you go to Delhi, you go to Bangalore, you be in Bombay, wherever, you know that there is certain energy in that city. Same with SF, and being in that Bay Area, it's like you will actually like bump into intelligent people who are constantly thinking about like way forwarded things than you can sit here and imagine. So I think just being in that kind of a community and like shared ecosystem just like really uplifts your brain.
But what made you bring back to India then?
So 2-3 reasons. One, first personal reason, like my mom was not doing well. So, and at the same time, my elder sister, she was moving to Canada. So it felt like, okay, somebody has to be here, and for those reasons. And in the long run, I want to be actually in India only. I really feel that India has a lot more potential to, like scale from here onwards. We are at that right, I would say, graph point where from here onwards it can just like peak aggressively. And I think that's the potential that I really see here. And today, as I said, like that AI has made everything like a level playing field. So it's possible you be in India and build for US, you be in Europe and build for US or whatever, Australia, wherever you want to do that. So that's also possible. Plus, I think the familiarity, right? Like on a personal level, I started feeling very detached from the world. And
there.
Yeah, over there. And I am not that kind of a person. I like having people around. I like having my friends around, spending time with my family, celebrating those festivals on Ganpati, Diwali, Raksha Bandhan and all of that. And I understood that for a long term, I can't really like do this. So instead of being like, okay, let's spend 10 years in US and then come back, nobody like comes back after you spend 10 years in another country. You're just going to become a citizen over there, and you're going to become like a pseudo-Indian, I would rather say. So it was a tough call to either like make that move immediately now or never make that move. So I was like, no, I have to come back to India, because no matter the money or the, the all this like the glamour of the tech world, but I feel a lot more grounded and humble when I'm around my family, around my friends.
Speaking the language which you were brought up.
And just like having the feeling of, okay, I know this place. I know the food and the taste of it.
Cuisines.
I know the air is polluted, but
it more feels like home.
Exactly. So I'm okay if I will like die sooner because of the air pollution, but at least I'll live with my family, my friends, and all those people. So it's actually after a point became like a very irrational decision. But majority of life decisions are kind of irrational only. You decide, okay, what education you want to take. Okay, that's a rational decision, logical decision. But eventually, let's say things like, okay, which partner, who do you want to be your romantic partner for the rest of your life? All of those things are mostly irrational.
Right.
So yeah, this was like an irrational decision of mine.
But when you say the person is secluded, the American person is secluded, do you think this is the case with most of the business person only, or most of the Americans are like such?
I think their lifestyle itself is like that. Business people, of course, entrepreneurs are kind of like lonely in a way.
Other than entrepreneurs?
Other than non-entrepreneurs
American.
also, and everybody who's just, let's say, working at a job like Salesforce or somewhere else in the tech world, I feel there also life is very monotonous. They would like, let's say, go to the gym in the morning, then go to the office, have those fancy meals in office, right? Like you see those reels
Right.
of Google Office, Meta Office, everything, like right from their breakfast to their gym to their sauna, everything is in their office because the company is creating those distractions for you where you don't feel lonely.
Right.
But I think self-awareness just hits you at a very random point in your life, and you'll be like, okay, no, this is all distraction.
So you
when I
mean
go
to say-
back home, I do feel lonely about, like being alone here in a foreign country.
So only on the reels and like in the TV it looks good, the American life good, but actually it is very lonely.
I mean, like,
to sum up.
correct, of course, to some people, right? Like some people who would have probably lived very like nuclear family and like not very closely connected to their parents, they might really enjoy that. They might feel liberating. Okay, finally I'm in a country where I feel like quite more free than I was in India. So for some people it can feel great, but for me, I have been brought up by two of my elder sisters,
Right.
my mother, my dad, and like my entire colony ke bacche were like, we used to be like playing cricket or whatever, football all the days. So that's how my upbringing has been, and it just was like a completely different shift for me. So probably did not work for me, but somebody who enjoys a lot of solitude,
For that person it is good.
yeah, for them it's okay. You will like make a lot of money, save that money, buy a BMW over there, buy a house over there, put it up on your Instagram, get married over there, and all of those things. Talk to your parents once in 2 weeks, then eventually once in a month, and then just like on birthdays, and all of those things. But I chose not to have that kind of a life.
You're a batsman or a bowler?
I used to be an all-rounder, but now that I am 32, my shoulder doesn't allow me to bowl a lot.
Fast bowler.
Yeah, but now I just prefer like...
But bowling fast really excites you, no?
Exactly.
Like,
and it's
You're throwing
just...
the ball you want to throw the ball at the maximum speed you want, and it feels good.
It's just the attitude of a fast bowler, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
in life, you need to have that kind of a competitive attitude. Otherwise, everybody is just going to walk over you. So I think the attitude of a fast bowler is like, okay, I don't care, you might be Vaibhav Suryavanshi, but I'm still going to bowl fast at you, a bouncer, and then, like try to get your wicket. So I think that attitude of a fast bowler is there, but now body doesn't allow me to do that.
What do you like about Vaibhav Suryavanshi?
I think just the fearless attitude, and then also like not giving fucks about, okay, what the world is thinking about me. Am I 15? Everybody around him keeps talking that he's 15-year-old. Everybody around Ronaldo keeps talking that he's 41-year-old and all of that. But I don't think so. They are thinking about those things. So
Right.
cutting off that noise at such a young age, man, like 15, 16 years old is like barely your whole cognitive development has happened, and like
Right.
still having the mental strength to be in an environment like that, still perform, and then not be affected by that noise is, I think, brilliant.
Interesting. So let's talk more about entrepreneurship. Let's say if a person, first of all, let us discuss this, that you said that it is better to aim the US market or the European
Yeah.
markets in order to earn better money.
Yeah.
Let's say if there is a person who has developed an ERP and the product fits there as well for that market as well, and the person wants to market there, sell there, then how can he do that sitting in India?
Yeah. Let's take a step back on this question first. Like, for example, like every founder should kind of like question themselves that why am I starting this business? Do I want to make money? Do I want to make impact? Do I just want the tag of being a founder, entrepreneur, or the thrill of it? Or like having the reason that, oh, I'm bored of my job, so I want to start something of my own and do that. Eventually, if you are getting bored of something, you will get bored of another thing also. So boredom is never going to be a solution to, starting a startup or following an idea. If your goal is to make money, that, okay, I want to build a $100 million company, like 1,000 crore, 10,000 crore, and that kind of a kind of company, you can build that from India also. It's not a problem. You can build that. Like Reliance, Gautam Adani, so many of these other people have been building these businesses, right? Like you look at the top 10 richest people in the country, all of them are like massive manufacturers or like the telecom people or the DMart Dalmia group and all of those folks. So I think if your aim is to make money, you can make that in Cape Verde also.
Right.
Where the population is just 5 lakh and like now Argentina is like was playing them. So I think you can, if your goal is to make money, you can make that in any market under any idea. But if your thing is to impact, make a, like world-class software, have the impact that Indians can build a world-class technology and a product like what Sarvam AI is building right now, which is the foundational LLM models. What Zoho built like long back and all of those things. If your aim is to have that kind of an impact, yes, you can then go and think about US first. But if your goal is to make money, you can even make money in just one district. Forget one district, you can just make money in one taluka district, or like a small village also. So I think I wouldn't say that it's a compulsory or a necessity that if you want to make a big company, a big money bucks, you have to go to US or Europe. You can make it from India also, but I think technological product and businesses are far more done better in US rather than India.
Okay, but how do you target that? How do you target that market sitting here in India?
Correct. So
or
first
you
of
can't,
all,
or you should not.
I would say like you should spend some time in the US first.
Okay.
And then kind of get close to the problem statement. If you're building a software for, let's say, clinics in the US, find at least 100 people who you can talk to understand their everyday routine at those clinics. Once you know, okay, out of those 100, 75 people told me the same problem and that problem isn't solved yet. So you know that, okay, this is a problem statement that can be explored, and maybe start small. Never ever like try to build the full ERP first. Always build like the micro products, ship them, get it tested. If they get approved and people are liking and there is user love, then make the next feature, ship that, get feedback on that. And that's how you start building everything else. Nobody like starts building a whole product suite of like softwares all at once. They start with, let's say, first an HRMS software, then maybe the finance part, invoicing part, anything else, documentation,
slowly
automations.
scale.
Exactly. And the thing is, today with AI, you can build this quite quickly, how it was in 2016, but today it's quite easily like possible. So I would say that spend time closer to the problem statement. Any problem, not just, let's say, US technology. If you're building, let's say, skincare for men or hair care product for Indian men who are suffering because of bike travel, their helmet is causing them, let's say, hair fall or dandruff, whatever, and that's a very specific problem.
Right.
But the TAM of it is much higher. Like
Right.
there are thousands and like millions of bike riders, and that becomes like you can validate that by talking to 100, 200 riders and understanding them, then build the product really well enough and all of that, and then keep shipping newer product lines.
Right.
So I think that should be the way to think about any idea, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Who is your favorite founder in India?
It was Kunal Shah till now, but
why?
now,
Why?
now that he moved to being the global
He's still
CEO
Indian,
of
no?
WhatsApp, he's still an Indian, of course, but like I just feel like he had a very no bullshit kind of philosophy and attitude. And that was kind of like really like needed in this ecosystem. I think Indian entrepreneurs as their personal brand play very safe. It might be for PR purposes, it might be for other reasons. Like I can understand Nitin Kamath has a very like diplomatic way sometimes of writing his LinkedIn post, because they are in a very regulated industry. He's saying something can really screw up their business as well. But I still like really value some of his personal anecdotes that he shares when he went through some health crisis and in his family as well. But I think Kunal Shah is a great example of how to, be persuasive about an idea, how to really do things differently. Like what Steve Jobs used to say, right? Like think different and do things differently, and all of that, and do your life's best work every day and stuff like that. I think he had that kind of mentality. I have known some of his, like the Cred early team members as well, and the way he used to hire as well, like he would hire musicians. Like he would always check if that person, apart from being, let's say, a software developer or a designer, do they have other hobbies or not. And that becomes a very important skill. And you can't create an HR policy of this,
Right.
but it's just a personality trait and the way of thinking of the founder.
Right.
Nobody else probably thinks like this, that when I want to hire a software developer, he should also have other hobbies and skills. People just are focused how is their technical skill. But I think he had that, I would say, a little bit
attitude.
go-getter and also a little crackhead kind of attitude where you have to really think differently, because in order to be number one, you have to be a little odd. You can't be like an even number and like play safe to be the number one. You have to be a little odd to be the number one. So I think like that kind of attitude kind of really like attracts me in a founder.
And who is your favorite now, the founder?
Honestly, I can't think of like anybody that I really like admire on the top of my head. Of course, there are people who are doing great things. But these 19-year-olds are my like new founders that I really admire. They have a high tolerance of failure. They're okay that, even if I fail, I'm fine. I'm still in college. I can probably complete my college and then get a job and placement at BCG or McKinsey, wherever else. But now that I am 19 and 20 and I have this safety net of being in the college, I can build any product, I can ship any product, and then kind of think, can I make, let's say, first $100 with it? Then think about $1,000, then $10,000. So I think those are the kind of people that I admire now. Of course, the great founders like the Zoho founders, Zerodha and Razorpay founders, all of those folks are there and they are doing great. But I think the 19-year-old are the people to really watch out for, just like in cricket. Now you're talking about Vaibhav Suryavanshi.
Right.
Even in the entrepreneurial world, these 19-year-old, 20-year-old people are like really like building great stuff.
But there has been a buzz about Gen Zs that, they are very fickle-minded. So what do you think about it? Because like you said, the 19-year child or the entrepreneurial person that has a very clarity about what he needs to do in life and everything. But there is second word about Gen Zs that, they say something and do something. So what do you think about it?
I think in a way it's good for them that they are fickle-minded also. They'll keep trying different things. And any entrepreneurship journey, even in the business, you have to keep trying different things. Because the ability to move on from the failure, right, that is really needed in entrepreneurship. So if your first product idea did not work well, you can't just be sad about it and be stuck with it and prove the world that no, I did not fail. You have to accept the failure, move on, and build the second feature or the second product with same enthusiasm. So that cycle of, like building, having that enthusiasm, seeing the
Failing
failure,
again and
being
rising
sad
again.
about it, and then getting up again the next day and building again with the same enthusiasm, I think it's okay. The Gen Zs, if they have that fickle mind, they'll keep like doing this cycle, I think much better than the millennials, I feel. The millennials are still stuck on their ex sometimes and like listening to Atif Aslam, Arjit Singh, but the Gen Zs are the one who are like quickly moving on.
Interesting. There is a word that content creators are the next entrepreneurs. Do you agree with this?
I think this was, anything that's trendy, right? It just becomes like a word that and a phrase that everybody keeps using. This actually started in the pandemic era, where large businesses were going to content creators because everybody was digital and everybody was locked on their phones and screens. So naturally, all attention was going to content creators. The market and the trends keep moving their attention from one thing to another. And content creators are just like distributors. Any actual dhanda, right? Like you go on the ground, there is some manufacturer, and then there are these traders, jo kirane ka saman or the grocery store, they will like put into different smaller shops in every locality. I see content creators more like a distributor first rather than just entrepreneurs.
But let's say if the person is building his or her own brand or something, selling himself, then maybe it is a better way to distribute as well at the same time. First build distribution and then, let's say you reach 1 million followers and then you start a company. But that is also a good way to start a business.
If you have 1 million followers, why do you need to take the headache of building a product or whatever, another software that you want to sell or anything? Then become a media company, right? Media is a much better business for you and like...
But afterwards, the person needs to, shift his positioning or her positioning that, I'm not just a content creator. Because honestly, I'm seeing this, that let's say if you say someone that you are a content creator, it's less of a They
don't take you seriously.
Yeah.
But I
they
think
don't
like,
take, as in, that is not, like the fame associated with it is not that great.
I
But
think
let's say
like
if you say that a person is, a business person, then the rush, the high is more in that.
I think I would say Gen Zs can also be investors, right? Like be an angel investor in a startup.
But the person does not have money, then what to do?
So let's take example of this 1 million follower. Okay?
Yeah. Interesting.
The 1 million, let's take this as a case study. Let's say there is a person, I think on Latent, this Jenny person recently came on the Latent show. I saw her before the show. She had 1 million followers and she has great sense of humor. And just like in 2-3 days of time, she has like 1.8 or close to 2 million followers. Now, for her to make easy money, okay, if her aim in life is to make easy money, I would say just do brand deals. Why do you want to get the headache of, starting your own product line about, let's say, some D2C software, like some D2C business or a software business or something else? You can just do your own like brand partnerships, do long-term brand partnerships, leverage the new growth and engagement that you're getting on your account and like capitalize on that. As long as your aim is to make money, I would say like find easy ways of doing it. You don't always have to have difficult ways and hard ways towards success. There can be easy ways also.
Right.
And for example, if by being a media company as a content creator, I reach to let's say $10 million of net worth in 5 years, and I have an easy, comfortable life also while doing that. And if I start my own entrepreneurship journey and start my product line and everything and reach to $12 million in 5 years, I made $2 million extra. But this amount of stress I had and the amount of like challenges I went through is unnecessary sometimes.
But people don't understand it, no? That normally this comes with time. This wisdom comes with time that, just after spending already 2 years, you come to realize that this is really hard.
Yeah, that's why you should listen to Mr. Seven's podcast. So then they will get to know that all the people I've had, जिसने ये सब ठोकर खाई है, they are telling you now that there are easy ways also to make money. See, I think entrepreneurship.
Then why is Nikhil Kamath doing this podcast?
I seriously am finding answers for it, but I think it's also great place for him to build his own distribution for next phase of startups that he's building, right? Like let's say for example, this Broadway company that they have started. Now what does Broadway do? They are like offline retail chain for all the online businesses like Niche Hair or some of these other like popular online brands. For those independent brands to go and get a mall space in a Copa Mall or let's say Phoenix would be very difficult. But when Nikhil Kamath and Kishore Biyani partner together and start Broadway and they launch these small brands in a big space like Copa Mall and Bangalore and Hyderabad, Delhi, other places, naturally it becomes like a great fit for them. So I think for him, this is also another way of like distribution, I feel.
Also, I think he enjoys conversating with people. I think that's his USP. He likes that.
See, he has a large team. Whenever he's interviewing a guest, he's not sitting and searching on Claude GPT and Google that, give me questions about this person or all of that. Or maybe he even does. He might have his own ways of, like getting to know a person via when their network is so strong, they can just like WhatsApp a friend and ask him, tell me 5 questions that I should ask XYZ person, and they would like give them those 5 questions. So for him, I think it's also easy way to do it. Like a lot of these founders who have already made their worth in the world, they always think about return on energy and return on time.
Right.
It's not just the return on investment in terms of money, but the return on energy and return on time is also something that they absolutely like keep in mind. That if I'm going to spend my 2 hours today on this podcast recording, what is it going to lead me to? The same podcast can give him access to Elon Musk's like the team and all of that. No doubt he's one of India's like richest person, but I think having that kind of network also becomes very, very important. So I think it's more, I would say, from a distribution and network perspective. Of course, we'll never know the actual like factual answers and his reasons of doing it, but I also feel he's doing great. I think that
do you listen to his podcasts?
The early ones, yes. Now I think
the group discussion ones are way better than the one-on-one.
Yeah, and I think like certain topics about like what India needs and let's say, I think they had a topic about alcohol businesses and some of those things. So
Finance,
those were
alcohol.
Fascinating because like I have never heard about the alcohol business in so much depth. But like listening to that over a 2-hour, 2.5-hour long form podcast without the gimmicks of sound effects and all those things, right? It's slow conversations that are going on. And that's the kind of like content I have also started like enjoying. Like I don't want the constant flashes of text and those risers, SFX and all of those things coming into my screen, because I know it's a way to give me dopamine and to keep me hooked. But like listening to his conversations is more like, okay, I feel like, oh, I am in a boardroom and I am talking to these people and I'm part of the conversations. So I think his audience is also this kind rather than...
the TAM is clearly different.
Correct. One, I think just like on another thought in my head, I think when you have this widespread distribution, right, like understand how the VC world also works. Any new age startup founder who has newer ideas, let's say in the health and wellness space or other space, when they have the right idea, they have the initial users and everything, they start going for fundraising, right? The first name that would come to your head would be Nikhil Kamath and his team, because they have constantly heard him, seen him on internet. He's constantly talking about how he funded 25 founders under 25 age and all of that.
So if the person has two options, two VCs, then obviously the person would like to go to this Nikhil Kamath rather than...
Because initially, like 10 years ago for us, it was like, okay, the institutional VCs were the people that we could raise money from.
Right.
Or angel investors who would like give you the money. So I think that was the option, but today it's not like that. Today even content creators have become like angel investors.
So basically his distribution is his money via his podcast.
Exactly. And if you make the VCs who come in as the early investors, they make the most money, right? Like let's say the Grow app or Meesho app, they got publicly listed, but their first early investors were Y Combinator from US and few India investors in their series A round or in their second, third round as well. And when you go in early on a startup, it's the valuation game, right? Like how stock market also works. You take, let's say, 2% of the company at a valuation of, let's say, $10 million. But when they got publicly listed, that 2% became $100 million.
100x to 100x.
So, like...
recently that also happened with Meta, taking a stake in this cred. The earlier investors got 17x, 20x returns.
So I don't know the exact details of those numbers and the math that has happened over there, but I think I also feel that's kind of like the case, because I think in total Cred had raised $900 million and then Meta also invested $900 million in it, and Kunal joined over there. So it kind of also seems like an acqui-hiring kind of like a deal, but I honestly have not read too deeply into it. These are just some Reddits and tweets that just were floating, and that's what I'm like quoting here, but I'm not got into the details, but it seems like that kind. But every VC wants to get in early and then make sure that they exit when they get into IPO or other things.
Let's say you have got 100 crores. So your path would be via entrepreneurship to make next 1,000 crores or via VC method to make next 1,000 crores.
I would rather like divide it into some aspects.
But entrepreneurship itself is very difficult path.
Yeah.
Like you need to choose one.
I think I would...
that depends
in
on...
the VC, I understood. So let's say if I have 100 crores and I want to choose if I want to be an entrepreneur and turn that 100 crore into 1,000 crores, or I become a VC and then keep investing. My choice here would be to actually go via the entrepreneurship route, because when you're investing as a VC, you are actually showing your trust and confidence into the other person, and the other person can succeed or fail. There can be two options into it. But when I know, okay, if I have the 100 crores, I will work on an idea. No matter what, I need to have the attitude in myself that, okay, I will keep building. I will find my path to success. I will have the bets on myself. And I think that would make me feel much safer rather than me, let's say, investing in somebody else. So my personal choice would be this, but the finance gurus might have different opinions.
I think that depends on person to person. Either of the ways is right. That depends completely on person. Interesting. So you run this Join 911, right? So most of the people that are coming there are maybe upcoming business enthusiasts, or they are already building. What do you think? What are the most questions what are the major problems they face at this point of time that they're asking in your event?
So in the 411 community and the events also, right? Like most of the people are like late stage founders, or I would say people who are already making some bit of revenue. They are not very idea stage founders or like very early stage. We actually like try to keep it in a manner that at least you should have like 1 crore of revenue in a particular financial year, and those are the kind of like things that we actually like curate. The usual questions, and why also just a reason of why we have kept it that way, is because idea stage founders can have multiple questions, and all of those questions are sometimes subjective. If somebody who's building, let's say, a t-shirt brand, they will come and ask me about, like how do I scale this business? For me as a customer, I really like prefer the quality and the longevity of that t-shirt. Ooh. But for somebody else, it's like they want the fine printed shirts or the almost gods or that kind of a blue orange kind of like big logos written, and that's also a different market. So the reason why we don't do a lot of early stage startups and founders in that event is because their questions and the answers can be very subjective sometimes, and it doesn't like keep it for everybody in the room.
It can't be engaging because let's say there are 10 people who are into advanced stage. For those sort of people, those questions won't be interesting.
Exactly.
So we can't mix the two.
Correct. But the advanced stage founders would have similar questions like hiring is a problem for them, employee retention is a problem for them, marketing return on investment is kind of a usual like question that keeps floating around. So those kind of questions are still like, like relevant for 20 other people. But when you do idea stage founders, it becomes difficult to cater to everybody because everyone's problem on an idea level is very, very different and very subjective. If I give them the advice that, why are you coming to this event? Forget about all of these things and just focus on building. Whereas if let's say somebody is starting an event tech company, they have to go to more and more events. So the same advice doesn't apply to two different people, even if they are at the same stage. So that's why like we don't do a lot of like early stage founders.
Interesting. Got it. Yeah. So let's say there is a student, and because this is an era of AI, do you think the person graduating by the age of 22, because normally in India a person graduates by the age of 22.
Yep.
Is this still fine? Because we are in the age of AI and everything is going so fast, but the person spends 22 years of his or her life, graduating. Do you think that our education system should get fast and maximum by the age of 18 to 19 years person should graduate and get into the game?
Yeah, but like you can also just skip that whole education path altogether, right? Or do something on the side. I think
But for Pawan, you also learned most of the things via, by surrounding yourself with the right people or learning with the right people. Because everybody is not Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Everybody is not that fast or advanced or cognitive.
So, I think careers have become very dual in nature these days, and I'll explain what that means. Like today you could be in an engineering college studying computer science, but at the same time also learning about how to manufacture t-shirts or how to manufacture a protein bar. And that can be your side gig. Or you could be a content creator and building your own media empire and learning and understanding how to do marketing and how to do content. So the duality of this career mindset that has come now in the world doesn't kind of like restrict you by the age, doesn't restrict you by a city or a college or an education stream that you are choosing. I can still study law, but at the same time still keep building AI apps or code something using Claude or GPT, or maybe do a third thing also, that be content creator as well while doing all the other things. So it doesn't matter even if we are graduating with our bachelor's at the age of 22, because at the age of 16 also you can be an athlete at the same time, like build some apps or let's say a particular dashboard for your own athlete management or let's say training management or diet management related things. And that's what I recently said on one of my videos also, that this is the age of personal software. I don't have to build a software for the entire world. I can first build it for myself, for my use case. And if that's going well for me, I can give it to my friends, and then they can also spread across to other people. So it doesn't matter if I'm graduating at 22 or 26, or even let's say I skip going to college, because the whole AI world has made you very level playing field, right? Like you and me have the same access to information. If you had to like prepare questions for this conversation, everything that's there on my internet, you can just scan that through Claude and GPT. Same way, if I was interviewing you, I could do the same thing for you. And it's that kind of level playing field that it doesn't matter if I studied engineering or law or media from Symbiosis or wherever else, because I have access to something that is making everybody equally intelligent.
Right.
It's on you. How do you make the most of it? The whole world has never been this fair. We keep talking about that the world is unfair, but in literal technological sense today, the world is really fair right now. That you and me today, if we start, let's say on the same starting line, the more hard work I will do, the faster I'll grow. And it's the same thing with anybody else. If 2-3 of their friends start on the same starting line, the person who keeps working more and is doing hard work, discipline, and having that creativity in their discipline and hard work and their work as well, they'll keep growing more because capitalism will support them. Right. And the access to information, access to these AI tools has also become the same thing. So today nobody can say I don't know. That shouldn't be in their dictionary.
Right.
Today nobody should be be restricted by their age or by their geography or by their the upbringing that they had, which city that they had, which school or college did they go to. Because today all these engineers or startup founders that are coming out, they are not just from IITs or IIMs. Okay, majority of the successful ones would be from there because of great education. But that is not a necessity that somebody who studied, let's say, in modern college here or let's say FC college here can't be as successful as the person who was in IIM Ahmedabad. So that's what I talk about, that it doesn't matter that,
Got it. So you mean to say, to sum it up, the person should graduate by the age of 22, that is fine, but along with that, he should or she should multitask.
Exactly. Keep building things on the side. Keep doing whatever hobby. Let's say you like dance as a hobby. Look at the content creation that's happening in dance, right? Like some of these dancers in Bombay are doing India-wide tour of workshops, charging 2,000, 3,000 rupees per person for a 2-minute dance routine or something like that, and they're going sold out. They're doing India-wide tour, like how comedians used to do tours or how music bands used to do tours. So nobody can say that there is no scope in this field today. In fact, wherever people feel that there is no scope here, that's where the scope is actually going and people are building in that field. Sports tech in India was so far behind, but now everybody is picking that up, right? Because we know that sports in general is giving so much entertainment than Bollywood. Bollywood is no more entertaining. Dhurandhar is great success, but everything else that has followed after that or this year is total bullshit. But entertainment is happening in sports. You look at IPL, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, look at FIFA World Cup that's going on. So people are doing more and more content in this ecosystem. They're bringing more technology in this ecosystem. They're doing more online trainings, trying to figure out how can we do things in the sports tech manner that could really shape up the next set of athletes in India, because India is actually lagging, right? We did not even qualify for the FIFA World Cup, but a small country like Cape Verde, Congo is qualifying, but we haven't really qualified. So
how can we build more sports in India, like other sports in India?
See, this is...
Cricket is one, but hockey, football is there. But how can we, boost them?
I think a lot of grassroots infrastructure is not there in India for these things. In US, there are open tennis courts. People can go and play there and whatever. In India, there are no these jogging parks itself. Whatever are there are side businesses happening over there and all of that. But that grassroots infrastructure itself is not there.
So can you say that maybe that is because even if there are enough ground or sufficient grounds for these sports, India should promote those sports where the infrastructure or the equipments required are low. Let's say you promote basketball more rather than hockey, because in hockey you require 11 players and hockey sticks. But rather than that, promoting hockey, you promote basketball. You promote, let's say, which are the volleyball could be another game because the equipments required are not that much.
Yeah.
Do you think this would promote that?
I think even if you remove, let's say, the infrastructure barrier, which sports gets famous or gets promoted more is kind of like has its own kind of magical moments also, right? Like how cricket is being followed so much right now is because of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, because some of the magical moments that Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma did. Because after Sachin, Gavaskar, Sehwag, Dravid, all of those guys retiring, there was no really like all the actual viewers who would be people who would be watching on television in their shops, right? My like uncle had like an electronics shop, and like I would go to the shop because we did not have a TV to watch cricket over there. But when Sachin retired, I stopped going to the shop to watch the cricket match. So a lot of like magical moments and serendipity also needs to happen, which sports gets famous in the country. But having said that, athletes are made in early age only, right? Like you look at F1 also right now. A 19-year-old is beating 40-year-old who's been doing Formula 1 for almost like 10-20 years. So all that like athleticism in the body, because it requires physical activity and the physical strength, right? So the early childhood is where that should really happen. When great athletes are made in India, that's when like great those sports magical moment and serendipity will happen. That would lead to like the fan following and more promotion of the sports, because the sports promotion is a business of numbers. The more viewership.
But if this is the argument, we can say that hockey has been there since so long, and we have great players in hockey as well, but still
very north specific, right? But like it's North India specific. You see in South, are they playing hockey enough or not? You see the Indian hockey team, or let's say Chakte India also, the representation it had was, let's say, a lot from Haryana, Punjab, because their grassroots itself had those kind of things. Even if each state in this country starts picking up one sport and the upliftment of those sports, right? Like how we did the smart city project where they are making, or let's say Swachh Bharat and Swachh Abhiyan city project and all of that. Even if each state or each, let's say 10-20 cities in this country or those respective states take up one sports and make sure that for the next 5 years they keep pumping money in it, giving the athletes the right diet, the right training and access to the right information as well, and the right kind of like training and coaching as well. That itself will like take us forward in the next 10-20 years. Because it's a let's say development path that would require 20 years. You can't really
requires. Even if you're building companies, that requires 10 years minimum.
Exactly. So anything in technology also, when you're building the foundational technology kind of layers, it's going to take 5-10 years.
Right.
And the investors also who invest in it, they know, okay, we have to invest here $100 million, but we will get the returns of this after 10 years only. So that's kind of the bet that some of the people also, I think, have to like take.
In your Join 911 journey, did you happen to meet any of the founder whose story is great? Like he raised from some place and then he reached altogether different level.
Yeah, a lot of like Shark Tank
Share
founders,
me one, if
right?
you can.
Like also I'm forgetting the name of the person, but there's this lady who started this climate app. Yeah, she was on TEDx as well, and like other platforms too, and like really working on the impact aspect of it. And I think that's also one thing. Pulmona's founder was there. She was actually one of the speakers of the event. True Elements founder Srijit, he was there. He was also one of the speakers. He built his company from Pune, sold that company to Marico, which is like a very large like player in the whole consumer space. Neeraj Shah, who has his own aluminium manufacturing setup here in Pune for the last 20-25 years. So those are the kind of people who have been part of these events and ecosystem, and at the same time a lot of technology people also. Somebody who's just doing WhatsApp automations for a lot of like businesses, right? Because now once payments come on WhatsApp, the whole WhatsApp ecosystem will become like a super app. You can do video call, you can do payments, you can just like exchange messages and all of those kind of like things that can happen.
But would that be good? Because super apps do not work in India or anywhere other than China.
I think like that.
I think there is a reason why Meta has kept Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp different altogether.
Eventually, I think at least on the B2B side, like brands will have a all product suite marketing and performance marketing kind of dashboard from Meta. What I mean is the users will still have 3 different apps.
But they can operate from WhatsApp.
Yes, they will still have 3 different apps, but the brand, let's say I am a t-shirt company or let's say I'm a footwear company and I want to sell my shoes to you, and I know you are on Instagram as well as WhatsApp and as well as Facebook, but you are most active on WhatsApp and Instagram. So I can show you my ads. I can select that I will be able to show you ads on the WhatsApp status as well as on Instagram. But when you open Facebook once in a month, I don't want to show you ads over there because that's a very like low intent kind of scrolling that you are doing.
So you mean to say the process of operating will become much easier and it will come to WhatsApp.
Correct. So the users, the end users will still use 3 different apps.
Got it.
And they wouldn't feel that, oh, this is a super app. But the marketers and people who are using these and doing ad spends on Meta or Google, they will still have the option to do it across all products that Meta has.
So the whole objective of Meta right now is to get rid of agencies in between. Make it more simpler for
They wouldn't
the
like
users.
publicly say that, but I feel like that's what it would like eventually become.
Great. One business gap you find these days, and maybe that is a good opportunity to get for any entrepreneur or business enthusiast.
Honestly, there are no business gaps or idea gaps in the world. I'll give you a reason about this. You must have seen the recent 1/8 World launch by Virat Kohli, right? He's literally launching shoes. Is there a idea gap or a business gap for the shoe market? No, right? Like there is Adidas, Nike, Puma, New Balance, Comet, so many of these other players. But why is he still doing it? It's not because he's seeing an idea gap or a business gap over there. But it's more about, okay, can the execution be done differently?
Right.
Can the building of the brand or the brand persona and the relationship between the customer and the brand can it be done differently? Nike and New Balance and all of these ASICs have a very high aspirational kind of things that makes you not feel part of their story. But when you are part of, let's say, wearing the 1/8 shoe, you would feel like, oh, I am part of Virat Kohli's journey and Virat Kohli's story. So I think it's more on the executional gap that somebody should really think about rather than the idea gap. Because honestly, like idea gaps cannot exist anymore, because if I search the same thing on GPT that give me 10 problem statements in Pune today that I can build a business on, I have 10 crores rupees and I want to build a business in this, it will give me the same kind of answers that it will give to you. Maybe my prompt would be different, so 1 or 2 options might be different, but the actual data that it will use from all the registries of business documentation or business incorporation world and also the marketing world would give you the same answers. The prompt of this would be readily available on Twitter or Reddit, anywhere. So
you mean to say that there is nothing called idea gap, there is always positioning gap?
I would say there is always executional gap.
Not positioning gap.
Not positioning
like
gap.
It is positioning itself as a Indian first premium brand.
Correct. And it's going with the story that cricket never had that kind of like a lifestyle legacy kind brand. Of legacy brand, whereas tennis has that. When you go to Wimbledon, like Wimbledon is happening right now, when you go to Wimbledon, people have a certain attire and like the dress code that they will wear, and it has its own personality. The game has its own fashion, but cricket never had its own fashion. The fashion that the cricketers are wearing are those expensive Balenciaga shirts or those LV bags and those glasses and those Philip watches and all of those kind of things. But is that the massy grassroots story? People really want to like be able to like afford the shoe, but at the same time also feel premium about it and feel part of the story. So I think that's what 1/8 really is, and that's the executional gap that they found. It's not an idea gap. Like there are many shoe brands already out there in the market which are like great shoe products. You wear a Nike or a New Balance, you will never feel uncomfortable in it.
But there is no association with the product.
I have so many shoes, but I feel most precious right now about the 1/8 shoe only, because like that's where I feel like I'm part of the story.
You like the logo of it?
Not really. Could have been better, but I know it's making a logo is a lot more about, like where all it will fit, how do you like
But
do
when
the
you see
placement.
this swoosh of Nike, it feels you different. It feels like right. You are right. As a person, you are
Yeah.
right. So the minimalistic thing about Nike is altogether what makes it different.
See, this is also decades of bias in our memory, right? Like, because we have grown up seeing Nike and the advertisements and the brilliance of
But
Nike
this I'm
branding.
saying when I compare it with Adidas. Adidas also feels great. But when you
Yeah.
compare Nike with Adidas, you feel something, the minimalistic makes it, the minimalistic factor makes it more appealing about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Like Nike is has a better brand positioning than the others, but I still feel like all of these are again very subjective.
Yeah, that is bias.
Calls, right? Like
Biasness.
me as a consumer of a particular product and also of, let's say, marketing of the world, I have very different views that I would like really like look at the product like. But the majority of Indian audience is not like that. They are okay just having the fanciness that, oh, I own a 1/8 shoe.
Yeah.
Or, I own this Virat Kohli's first launch shoe. And they are okay, they feel pride in that, which is great for them. But for me, it was like, oh no, I need to like wear these shoes and see, okay, how they are in the performance. Do I feel comfortable in that or not? And all of those kind of things. But I don't think so majority of the audience in India is like that.
So one executional gap you have been thinking about these days. Any idea?
I think the whole service industry has a lot of like executional gap. Like today, if you are running an event agency, or let's say you are running a performance marketing agency or branding agency, design agency, whatever out there it is, right? There it has a lot of executional gap because your relationship with your customers is mostly loosely attached. But when you can build, let's say, certain AI products and like AI dashboards that can make your client feel involved in the work, rather than just giving briefs and all of those things, I think that customer relationship can improve a lot in the whole service industry using AI. And at the same time, when the customer relationship goes great and the retention of customer is great, your business will keep growing. You will not lose your customers. Your customers will do word of mouth and referrals for you, and that would like bring you more and more business without spending a lot of marketing money. So I think the agency business, I feel they have a lot of like executional gap that can be filled with AI. That's massively out there, and surprisingly, Pune has a lot of agencies, design, creative agencies, event agencies, wedding agencies, whatever other kind of like things. I think that's a massive executional gap that they themselves can fill in, or somebody else who's watching this podcast today can like build something and they will like fill that up.
So you mean to say services with better personalization, and if there is no personalization, first identify the service sector, and if you can make a ERP or software around it, then
exactly it could be a simple AI dashboard also for something that you can give to the client. And it might not be the full-fledged ERP, but it's okay. Like anything that can improve your customer retention.
Got it.
How does the agency business scale, right? Like you want more and more clients, and that's how you will like scale that business. But at the same time, you don't want the head count to go higher. You don't want to keep hiring more and more employees. Otherwise, your employee to revenue ratio will get screwed up, and then your cost of operations keeps increasing and all of that. So today that's not needed. You like the same employee can use AI and do better output, and at the same time have a better customer relationship also. So agency business scales through word of mouth and through referrals the best. You can do your ad spends on Meta, Instagram. You can keep creating content, do founder personal brand. All of that is must, and you should do it. But I think if you solve that customer relationship problem, you will like scale massively in the agency business.
So personalization is the new gap.
Exactly. How you scale personalization at large volume is the thing. Like for example, today I go to a lot of like restaurants in Pune with my family or friends to have lunch, dinner or whatever. And every time I go to some of these places, I feel no personalization with the food or with the staff over there. But there are certain places in Pune that I always like go back to. If I ever like want to go with my family, we always like go to this one select place only, because I know when I will go there, they'll warmly like welcome me. They will remember my name. When I will do the table reservation, they will remember that, oh, I always want this kind of a table and all of that. And that kind of personalization can happen through data these days. I'm not saying that the person at the reception has to remember all these details for thousands of employees. Your entire past reservation history with me, my food order history with the same restaurant, they can really like use that to the best of their, like customer experience purposes and build the menu for me along with that. If they always know that, okay, this person always orders a tiramisu as dessert whenever he comes with family, that's a great data insight for them.
Right.
They will know that, okay, if this person has made the reservation, we need to reserve one tiramisu for them. Operationally also, it can go excellent for them. So I think that bit of, personalization with technology, doing it at volume in the service industry is a massive executional gap that I see.
Interesting. Let's say if there is a business person doing business offline, and that person wants to move online in the online space. How should that person do that?
I think
let's say that person has multiple products. Then how can that person choose one product to go online with, and how should that person start?
Got it. Okay. Let's take a specific example. Let's imagine that I, in Shalimar Pet, own a watch shop. Okay. These are not my manufactured watches, but general purposes and everything. But I also do have certain exclusive like watch designers who make custom watches for me.
Right.
The first step is to test the waters by doing content.
Okay.
Do online content, show the designs of your watches and everything. See if you're getting early interest or not. Do it for 3 months, I would say. 3 to 6 months तक बस वो content करते रहो, video बनाते रहो, दिखाते रहो कि what kind of watches you have and everything. Don't do ads. Ads में क्या होता है, लोग खरीदते हैं. They will like do all of those things. We want to see if you're getting early organic interest or not. So first 3 to 6 months, just keep doing content, video, talk about, okay, what's the details of this watches, do educational content along with entertaining content, do some bit of, like things like, okay, that Titan series had come recently, right? Like do similar content talking about how Titan got started, but how you started your shop in a manner.
So talk anything and everything
Correct.
about
talk
the
anything
product.
and everything organically in video format for the first 3 to 6 months. Even if you get 100 people saying that, oh, I want to like see this, can I take it, like purchase it online, or can I visit my store? Bring them to your store. Make those first 100 loyal customers who are coming to your store experiencing that, okay, you are a legit person, legit business, and then make your first 100 customers like that. From there onwards, then start the business selling online using a Shopify, using Meta ads, Google ads, whatever, all of those things. And at the same time, use those 100 people as your, customer testimonials, make videos with them, click pictures with them, bring them as your model in the shoot itself, do a website and all of those kind of things, which any D2C company would do. But for you to go from offline to online, I would say test the waters first by doing 3 to 6 month kind of content. A lot of cloud kitchens have actually started with this. A homemaker in let's say my society itself, she started sending on the WhatsApp group of the society that today this is the menu I'm making. If anybody wants to order, I have 20 plates of this order. Immediately she sells out like on an everyday basis. And people are waiting for 10 a.m. for her to put the message.
Interesting.
That, okay, what is she cooking today? We want to get that. Slowly.
So the menu is, nobody knows what.
Nobody knows the menu. And that's the surprise element, right? Like every day they are waking up, oh, aaj kya banaya Kavita ne? So like every day she will like put that message.
Right.
And then she moved from 20 orders to 30 orders, 50 orders, 100 orders. Now she has took a store outside the society, there where she's properly made the whole setup and everything, and she's selling now at a much higher quantity from there. And now she's got her on Swiggy and Zomato as well. So that's how you move a offline business to online. You can't suddenly just tell the world that, hey, buy my product online now. You really need to have that shift, give that consumer also the change in the purchase behavior, right? Like you were until now a shop, let's say in Koregaon Park or somewhere else, and now you're suddenly telling, don't come to my shop, but you're paying the rent of that shop for almost 2-3 lakhs per month. What will you do of that? So you have to do that slow transition of it, rather than just saying, oh, buy from my website, you will get 10% discount. That's the worst way.
Interesting. Like, this is a very interesting idea, this Kavita's Kitchen.
There's so many like that in Pune actually. Like,
Yeah. But this is a good example of going online. What are the traits for entrepreneurship required to be successful?
There can be different answers to this, but I'll give my answer. I think entrepreneurs are incurable optimists. They always feel like, oh no, there is some positivity even into my sad story, and even into my failure. Another trait is they are never whiners or, like cribbing about something or complaining about something. I think that's what really like sets apart. And this is a similarity between great athletes also. They don't like complain about the weather or the pitch was really difficult today or the light at the ground was whatever and all of that. Similarly, great entrepreneurs don't complain or whine or crib about something. And I think they're in general not excuse givers as well. And lastly, they are like go-getters. They might not know answers to something and solutions to certain problems, but they will always say that I will figure it out. And I think those are some traits that I have seen in variety of great entrepreneurs. And that's the commonality that I see between a great entrepreneur and just an entrepreneur.
Interesting. So this question is for the working professionals. AI is taking away jobs. The answer for that from you is yes or no?
It's yes.
It's yes. Now, what should be the next step for these working professionals? Or how can they cope up?
They have to get into new skill development. There is no other way because, see, there is...
What sort of new skill development?
Yeah, so there is displacement of talent that's going to happen. If somebody is going to lose their job, like let's say this kind of revolution happened in the .com era as well, right? When the whole website thing, the .com era, the internet happened, a lot of people lost their jobs. Let's say people are not sending letters now, they are sending emails now. So a lot of talent got displaced from there into some other industry. Maybe the postman of that era went to become a carpenter or plumber or whatever, something else. But that displacement of talent happened from here or maybe to a logistics company.
So you mean to say the number of jobs will not reduce in future? Or
I feel so. The number of jobs, reduce. Yeah, because more and more entrepreneurs are also coming up. So new companies might start forming. And at the same time, like talent might move from one industry to another. And that's why we say that there is displacement of talent happening. Where, okay, today if I'm an HR, but majority of HR operational things are happening now through AI. And you don't need that much of workforce within the HR team. That HR might go into customer success or they might go into operational role or even maybe in marketing role because they have people skills. So that kind of displacement of talent might happen, but I feel like the overall like net number of jobs might still be same. A lot of the offline jobs might increase. Like a lot more concerts will happen. A lot of like these bhajan concerts are happening. So more and more people managers at venues would be required. So maybe the HRs of the software company might move to become venue managers or people manager at certain studios or let's say performance spaces like NMAC or maybe Mona Lisa Kalagram in Pune or some of these other places. So that kind of displacement of talent might happen, but I don't... Again, I'm not pessimistic about the future and jobs and the economy in general. I only feel like innovation only makes people much better and the economy and the country and the society much better.
Yeah, I also think that the number of jobs won't decrease because what happens is every time when this evolution happens, even via technology, the humans increases their range. And I truly believe that after 20-30 years, we can definitely see this, that we are traveling to Mars. And let's say even if we travel to Mars, then all this technology will help. Let's say, I also think that in future there are chances that one person is always accompanied with one robot all the time. Right? So I don't think that jobs will be gone.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like everybody will have their own agents.
Right.
Like how people are talking about, and I keep coming back to this era of personal software and personal agents, right? Everybody have their own personal agents and software where their entire life can be like managed really well. Because when technology happened, like people started using Gmail and Google Calendar to manage their lives, right? And that became an integral part of our life. Today I came from Baner to Kondwa. If there was no Google Maps, I would have never imagined how the hell will I come here. I would have had to like stop at every point, every junction, every chalk and ask people, अरे यहाँ से कोंडवा को कैसे जाना है, यहाँ से कैंप कैसे जाना है, because I've not seen this side of the city. And I feel only blessed living in this era, and like I feel only grateful and like joyful about the technology and innovation that's happening, because today we might not imagine how it's going to benefit us and how it will like really shape up our everyday life, but I can really like visualize it on the positive side. Everything has its own two sides of the coin, right? Like, but I will never be pessimistic about technology in general. And
you are a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, because if really like my job goes away, let's say for example, we don't need software in the world, I am happy to go back to Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar and like do farming over there or do something else.
Everything is interesting. I don't think that the person needs to stick to the core job.
Exactly. I am happy to be a dog walker also. Like dog walkers will make a lot of money.
Unless you make money. Then it's fine.
So I am okay to be that. So I don't see a problem in being, let's say, doing something else apart from technology if everything becomes very much automated. It's okay. We have figured out in the last 10-20 years how to really like upskill ourselves. How people went to, let's say, engineering, right? Like today people are saying that, okay, I don't want to do engineering, I probably want to do something else. And that's the shift that will like slowly happen. And that's also one reason why we are seeing a lot more intake now in the sports world. People are doing more and more courses in the sports management and the sports business side of the world. Mumbai has a lot of institutes. People are going abroad to study how to do athlete management, how to do talent management. If more and more comedians keep coming into the world, you need great talent managers who have great people skills, who have great management skills. It's literally like an MBA in HR as well as like business when you want to become a talent manager. So that kind of, if content creators are increasing, so that means the need of talent managers might also increase. So that kind of displacement might happen in the world. But again, I'm always an incurable optimist about technology.
Right. Claude versus ChatGPT. Which one, like which one do you use more?
Claude, undoubtedly.
Why?
Just get a $100 ka maximum wala subscription and let it do anything for you. Like just yesterday I was seeing on Instagram somebody built like a live simulation of the traffic management in the Connaught place in Delhi that's happening. So live view of how traffic is moving in that circle. And he just built it for fun. But imagine that one fun project of his can help the Delhi government so much. Not just Delhi government, maybe the Bangalore or even the Pune's traffic has gone like a nightmare. So these fun ideas can really turn into great business ideas, and more of this government and this whole public-private partnership might start happening now, where government is doing more technological partnership with not just with Infosys, but actual coders and builders, and like smaller teams who have the new age thinking of looking at problems in a new age manner. So
do you think this ChatGPT cannot do this?
I think it can do it. See, a lot of these models can do similar kind of output only, and there are these ratings that are already out there in the market.
But the outcome is much better in Claude compared to ChatGPT as of now.
See, it also depends on like how you use it. Like again, it's if you give the same prompt to both of them, it's kind of give you 19-20 wala response and output only. Very rarely, I would say, in a video content creation space where the video models have to be great, then Gemini will, do a much better job than Claude or GPT. But I think it's also on the prompt basis, but all these technologies are also competing with each other, right? So if currently Claude is doing great, ChatGPT is also building something on the side and knowing that, they are doing better than us, we need to upscale ourselves. So that kind of healthy competition is always great to be there in the market.
Right. So with this, we come to an end. Just want to know, like, what type of content do you consume in order to upgrade yourself?
I have actually set this 1 hour limit on my Instagram and all social apps, even LinkedIn. and YouTube as well. So I have like a 60-minute timer.
You don't consume anything like more than 60 minutes?
Nothing. On a daily basis, I don't consume anything more than 60 minutes. And at the same time,
that includes your work time as well? Or that
work time as well, yes. I can't use more than 60 minutes of LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter in total on my phone.
That does not include your Outlook, right?
No, not Outlook. Yeah. Not Gmail and not all of those work apps.
Yeah.
All of those things not. And not even WhatsApp, because a lot of sometimes personal, family, friend conversations happen on WhatsApp.
So 60 minutes, how do you upgrade yourself?
Mostly I read long form articles. So most I consume on LinkedIn and Twitter. Facebook very rarely. And Instagram is mostly sometimes to, check messages, what my friends have sent. And to,
that is why it took you so long to respond.
Yeah. So my phone doesn't allow me to open the app until I hit like 12 a.m. So if there is an important message that I know is going to come, I either have to open my laptop and open Instagram and LinkedIn over there and then see the message. Otherwise, no.
Interesting. So thank you, Pawan. This week come to an end. It was great conversating with you. We learned a lot about entrepreneurship, how to start and scale the business, and I hope the viewers find it as well.
I hope so too. Otherwise, like this 90 minutes of both our time would be like such
the
a
right
waste.
The right person will truly learn. Right? Yeah.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.